Hello, and welcome to The Fool and the Philosopher.
The Philosopher and the Fool.
I think that, and I could be wrong, but I think the Monkey King he's a god, right?
Yeah.
But I think there might be a translation issue from Chinese to English because, first of all, Chinese does not translate into English at all.
Yeah.
It's really weird if you go to a Chinese website and translate into English. Like, Chinese is an incredibly metaphorical language. In English, we do it too. Like we say, "Oh, yesterday I panicked," but China doesn't ever have the word stop having its original meaning. So it's like the god of fear was there before me the other day.
So the Chinese speak in memes?
Yeah, well, like every language does,
Yeah.
but the Chinese keep their origin kind of bound into the language. It seems, at least, when you do a direct translation. Maybe maybe a Chinese speaker, they wouldn't notice that when they're speaking. They wouldn't think about it.
Yeah.
Because we don't normally think like panic means that Pan was there, right? Like,
Yeah.
We don't normally do that, but. And like we say, oh, that's bad, but we don't think, what is a bad? Oh, a bad is a man that dresses as a woman. And so this is a hideous abomination, and that's why it's an evil thing. And it's very sinister. Oh, sinister is left-handed because we don't do that most of the time, right?
I'm just thinking about the original term for abomination now.
That's the United States, right? Back like 2008 to 2016.
No. I don't get your reference.
Abomination?
Oh, no. Abomination is someone having relationships with a goat.
Oh.
That's an abomination. And you shouldn't commit an abomination.
Yeah, it would
It's
be.
against God.
Yeah. So, Chinese, when they say God, I think we wouldn't call them gods. Like, I don't, for example, Yahweh, right? Is a being outside of time and space who is all powerful, and well, maybe not Yahweh, not like the not the Jewish version. He's actually a lot smaller in scope compared to the Christian God. So let's just take the Christian God. He's this all pervasive being who is all powerful, all kind, all knowing, right. He's very powerful. The Monkey King was not that.
He's more like a Norse god.
Yeah, like he's more on the line, but even let's go to the Greek gods for a moment. So I think like if you compare like let's say Pan, going back to Pan and the Monkey King, he might have been on that level, right, where he's a very powerful nature spirit, right? But then you have someone like the Olympians, because there's other gods that aren't Olympians, right? And before the Olympians, how about the Titans?
Yeah.
So the Titans might be more the level of some of the greater gods. Like the Monkey King might not even be on the level of the Titans, right? But then you get to the Olympian gods like Dionysus and Hermes and Hades and Poseidon, and those guys are on the level of like the Chinese immortal emperors or whatever they're called, the treasure kings or whatever they're.
Jade Emperor.
Yeah, like these super high up like.
Well, the Jade Emperor is the king of the gods.
Like who are the four dragons?
Those are the fundamental guardians of the world.
Like that might be more the level of like the Olympians, right? Yeah. Like these super powered emperors who just ascended into godhood.
Yeah.
And I think the Monkey King is probably a lesser powered.
Well, he's like Hercules. Like Hercules could wrestle an Olympian.
Yeah. Like Monkey King and Hercules is probably a better comparison because take like a living emperor. Like let's say Emperor Qi went during the height of his rule, right? The guy who united China.
Yeah.
He's probably, on a mythological scale, more powerful than the Monkey King. Like, I think the Chinese emperors were basically divine beings on Earth in a lot of ways. Like, they were looked at as these incredible... Yeah. Now, Qi is maybe a bit too recent to be... Because I think most stories about him treat him as human. Like, they don't treat him as the same... But, like, when... who was it? Was it Marco Polo? Or was it No, it wasn't Marco Polo. When you'd go to the Chinese court... If you had the emperor's favor, you could go and like visit a picture of him.
Yeah.
And then if he really, really liked you, you could like go into his presence but not ever look at him.
Yeah.
And then if you were some exceptional, unbelievably amazing being, then you could actually talk to the emperor himself directly. And so they had the Forbidden City. They had an entire city for the emperor alone. Like China's emperors they were kind of on the level of like the Egyptian pharaohs, but I think the Egyptian pharaohs were the representative of God on Earth, whereas the emperor was a god on Earth.
Yeah.
And so I think the Monkey King might be lesser than... the other thing about Buddhism is he's probably lesser than a Buddhist priest, like any Buddhist priest,
Yeah.
in many ways.
So what the interesting thing from the legend you even know about the Monkey King
Yeah.
is when he fought the Buddha, before he fought the Buddha, he was in the Celestial Court with the Jade Emperor and the General of the Gods, and he was messing with everyone, and there was nothing they could do about him.
Yeah.
And then Buddha steps in to stop him.
Well, there's that story.
And so it's like that weird sort of scale of power, even though these are like super powered gods, you need Buddha to deal with him.
Well, because there's the story of the Monkey King in Buddha's hand, right?
Yeah.
And he says, if you're so powerful, jump out of my hand, essentially.
Yeah.
And the Monkey King's like, oh, easy. And so he jumps like 500 feet into the air, and he sees a mountain nearby, so he marks it with his staff to prove he jumped super high. Then he lands, and he says, all right, I'm going to go show you how high I jumped. And he looks at the Buddha's palm, and there's just right near the base, there's like a little line on his finger.
Yeah. Well, so the mountain he got in prison is called Five Finger Mountain.
Yeah.
And so the Buddha turned his hand upside down
And
then pressed him into the ground and imprisoned him in a mountain.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's really conceptually weird because he's imprisoned in the Buddha's hand.
Yeah. But the Buddha's not there.
It's just conceptually the Buddha literally turned his hand to a mountain, but he didn't.
So I think that something along that line, that could also be a mimetic drift. Like one of the stories was the original and then it switched to the other. But or it could be both, and that makes it even a weirder story, but interesting. Then going back to the Greek gods, then you have Zeus.
Yeah.
And now this isn't done in most modern retellings. Like Rick Riordan doesn't really do this, or basically
Blood of
anyone.
Olympus, which is the Netflix show.
But Zeus isn't actually on par in power with the other Olympians.
Yeah.
Like even Hades and Poseidon are essentially, they have zero power compared to Zeus.
Yeah.
Because so there's a concept in Gnosticism, which is the demiurgus, who is the ruler of Earth. But he's not the creator of the universe. So in Lord of the Rings terms, the demiurge would be Manwë and Melkor and all the other gods. They would be the demiurges of Earth.
Yeah.
But Eru is the creator of the universe, and that's more Zeus's power level.
Yeah.
So Zeus's lightning bolt, it represents the power of annihilation. So he can will anything to be destroyed, and it will be. He's now, because no mythology is clean, and again, we talk about how China is messy because there's a bunch of different cultures. The Greeks were not one people.
No.
So they all had a different Zeus or a different god, and they had to staple them together. And there could have even been cases, because I know for a fact that,
Athens is the city of Athena,
Yeah.
which had the contest between Poseidon
and Athena.
Athena for the city. And it's like, well, Zeus is the king of the gods, but this is the city of Athena.
Yeah. And I know that the Greek priests, okay, let's say not know, because nothing's certain, but I have heard, and it is considered to be the truth we're working with, but future facts may change the situation, which is what people mean when they say I know, I hope, most of the time anyway, so maybe that was unnecessary. But priests had an interesting job where they would talk to other priests and they would negotiate out the details of how their religions were actually the same religion and how they meshed.
Yeah.
So, for example, Isis is an interesting god because she is an Egyptian god and a Greek god. And so, there was kind of a joint effort of like, okay, so your river goddess is Isis? Yeah, we'll call it Isis. And then Pluto's another one where there is a god, not Pluto, but Hades. Pluto actually. So there's Pluto and there's Plutus.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, so we've got the god of treasure and we've got the god of the underworld, but the underworld is already very treasure
Coded.
treasure coded. That actually came to my mind. I was like, no, I don't want to use that. But it is one correct way
It is the
to say it.
vernacular that could communicate the idea.
Yeah. The underworld is very treasure coded. So we're going to say Plutus and Pluto are the same god. And so the god of the underworld is also the god of treasure.
Yeah.
And that sort of so in Dresden Files, in Skin Game, they make Hades the god of treasure.
Yeah.
So it even goes backwards another
And
step.
then there's the weird thing of the video game Hades. Their main character is
Zagreus?
who's
a real character.
Yeah,
Who's a real Greek myth.
who's basically Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's Jesus in the old myths.
Yeah, but there's an interesting thing I know.
But he's more similar to Serapis, who is also Jesus.
There's this story I remember reading about.
Zagreus.
Yeah, Ziegler, which is there was a temple dedicated to Ares.
Yeah.
and it was in the city, and a guy went to the temple. So he basically asked, I want to go to the temple to pray to the gods. Where's your main temple? Where's the temple of the king of the gods? He's basically asking for the temple of Zeus. And they direct him to the temple of Ares. And so he ends up there, and he realizes this is the temple of Ares. And he goes to the priest, and he talks to him and says, why is this the temple of Ares? Why are you worshipping the god of war? Why don't you have a temple dedicated to Zeus?
Yeah.
And they said, Ares is the king of the gods. Who is the Zeus you speak of?
Yeah.
And it's like well, the pantheon is like all the gods. It's like, there's only Ares.
Yeah. And so then you have to get the stronger nation to come along and say, no. You're worshiping Zeus, you just don't know it. And Ares is like an aspect of Zeus who's lesser.
Yeah, and this is actually a temple to Zeus.
So when they were convincing the savages in like France and Norway and whatnot to Christianity, they would take their spirits and be like, no, those are demons. And
or angels.
Yeah, or angels. And Jesus was born, I think this was in like Hungary or something, like Bohemia or something like that. But they're like, yeah, no, Jesus was born in like this wooden hut in the woods, and all these hunters came to. They were totally happy to tweak it to whatever worked for them.
There is the we had a teacher who did he actually write? He like wrote a story of Jesus being born in Canada.
Well, there was like the Manitou sort of idea was, I think, a Jesuit priest did. Like,
well, he would tell this story then, which is like he was born in a tent, and like they brought him like mucklucks and bannock and like gloves instead of the frankincense, gold, and myrrh. And,
yeah, the Jesuits especially were super flexible. They were like, oh yeah, we'll just make this work with your myths. Like, oh yeah, to Titus, yeah, that's Jesus, and oh yeah, Odin, that's the guy that they were kind of weird with the Norse, where they were like,
well, I think the Norse is the Norse and the Japanese, I think, were the cleanest.
Yeah, I guess
for different reasons.
Yeah, the Japanese, they're like, well, Hindus, I don't know if you've seen what they did, because Hindus just love building statues of gods, right? Yeah. So they were like, oh, Jesus, cool. We got another statue. Let's put up a Jesus statue. There we go. Now we have a Jesus statue too. Let's give him like 4 arms as well. Just
4 arms, 6 heads.
Yeah. And then Shinto is kind of similar to Hinduism, where they're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. We're Christians now.
Yeah.
That's it? Yeah. We're Shinto Christians. No, you're Christians, not Shinto Christians, you know.
He's just we're not even Shinto Christians. We're Shinto, and we accept your God.
Yeah. What? You can't do that. But then the Norse, they were like,
the universe has ended and God has come.
Yeah, so they just kind of put a chronology to the whole thing.
It's in Christian mythology, Ragnarok happened.
And then the Gaelic people, I think that's kind of my favorite actually, was they were like, all right, we'll do one battle with our God, and we'll do one battle with your God, and we'll see which one wins us the battle better. And if your God's better, then we'll keep him. You know, the A/B testing the gods. So we'll try with Titus, and then we'll try with Jesus, and we'll see which one's more effective here. And
then sometimes they just
pray to both. Cover your bases.
The weird one, actually, something I only learned recently, is if we go with the Dagda, the Morrigan, and the Druids.
Yeah,
is it's like there's all these people who really did worship that, and the Druids were the people in charge. And then you look at the structure of how to become a Druid, and the Druids' teachings, and the positions they hold. And then you look at the bishops, and how you become a bishop, and the structures and the teachings. And Druids literally turned into bishops.
Yeah, and there was a lot of counter-influence for sure. Yeah. And I think...
and that's actually the whole concept of Woden, which was... A guy described as the spirit of Woden, which is a cool concept, is... When the Crusaders went to war, they were, what's it called? The people who worship many gods?
Pantheists?
No, like the other...
heretics.
No, like the old-fashioned religious people versus...
It's not, deists or pantheists or...
There's a different term for it. I can't remember.
Okay.
But anyways, it's basically... you had these people who were fighting in the name of Christianity, powered by the spirit of Woden, like a multi-theist god. Like they weren't actually Christian at the time.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, we'll do the crusade. But it's very much a warlike spirit to them, that they were still following the old gods. They were still doing the will of the old gods, just in the name of the new god.
And I do wonder, like with someone like Emperor Constantine, like he converted to Christianity near the end of his life, and I think when I've learned about it historically, it's seen as a fairly cynical move. Like, I'm going to unite and simplify the Roman Empire. I'm going to choose the parts of the Bible that will be stabilize the empire. We'll use those. And I think he probably did have that in mind. But I also wonder, because especially the way that the Old Testament was, there does seem to be a bit of a... It's not so much that I believe in my God and your God is the wrong God. It's more of, yeah, both these gods exist, but mine's the better God.
Yeah.
And so it could have been more like Constantine finally going, okay, fine, I'll do a merger. Like, you have like this very successful software company.
Yeah.
And finally, near the end of your life, you see it's going out of business, it's running down, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm going to accept Microsoft's buyout because they're going to be able to keep it going. And I wonder if that was more the mindset there.
I love the story of Lot. Lot might be one of my favorite stories.
Yeah. Oh, that was one that is... sorry, not Lot. I was thinking of Job.
Sorry, the story of Job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Love the story of Job.
That's weird. But that's clearly not part... That's clearly like a Sumerian story.
But the part where...
Did I not seal the gates of King Death?
Not that. That's really interesting. But God's having a council with all the other gods, all the other spirits.
Yeah.
And the devil shows up. He's like... And omniscient God...
Yeah.
God who knows everything.
Where have you been?
Asks the devil where have you been. And the devil is such a snide bastard. He's like, I've been here and there doing this and that. Like, that response,
Yeah.
like if someone asked me what have you been doing or where did you go, I want to use that response. Here and there doing this and that. And it's like the devil isn't lying to God, but he's not telling God what God wants. And it's the same thing with the Garden of Eden, where God goes for his evening walk with Adam, but Adam's eating the fruit. He realizes he's naked, and so he's hiding in the bushes.
Yeah.
And God goes, Adam, where are you? I cannot see you. I am here, Lord. Why are you hiding in the bush? Because I am naked. Who told you that? Whoa, back this up. God is asking Adam, where are you? Like, God can't see through bushes. God who knows everything doesn't know that Adam ate the apple, is now hiding in a bush and is naked. God is giving you the opportunity, like same with the devil, same with Adam. He's giving you the opportunity to tell him what you've done. He's like a father who knows his child is being naughty. God already knows. He's just playing the game.
Maybe, because I've wondered this. There's this weird argument. It's used, Christians, it's one of their biggest debates currently, and it's been one for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And it's also by people who were raised Christian and are rejecting Christianity. And it's, how can there be an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-caring God, and there still be evil in the world, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the other one, which is how can free will exist with divine preordination?
Yeah.
And I think the second one, I think I know the origin of that, which is Calvinism.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Calvinism.
Hobbesism?
No, Locke. It was Locke that... No, it was Calvin. Was it?
Yeah, it was Calvin.
Yeah, it was Calvin. It was Calvinism. So I think Calvinism caused that, because Calvin's argument was that God is all-knowing. Therefore, he knows if you're going to go to heaven or hell before you were born.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, well, then why should I bother doing anything? But I think Calvin's point was that, well, God would know if that would make you give up or not, right?
But back to the story of Job.
No, this was adding to that, but yeah, you can...
Well, this is part of it. So God is with the council of spirits and all the other gods, and he's the greatest God. He's the ruling God.
Yeah.
And he sends the devil to go torment Job. And then later on, when Job is lamenting his situation and he's having the debate with all his friends, that's when God comes and says, I sealed King Death. I was there when the Leviathan was created. I saw the behemoth. I sunk him into the sea. I saw the first lights in the sky. I taught the ostrich how to run. I'm the one who fed the horse. I'm the one who closed your cupboards.
Yeah.
Like, he has this tirade. And
it's more the feats of a hero than of a god.
Very recently, after listening to the story, I went to church and heard a priest talk about it. And she was saying that this is like, Job thinks he knows everything.
Yeah.
And God's basically telling him, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the whole story of Job. That's the whole point of Job. It's like, who are you to judge me when I have caused the rain?
And
well, actually, that's what God asked Job. Do you know how to make it rain? And
yeah,
like,
and the whole thing with God doing that is...
He's saying, look, trust me.
But then you have the duality of God talking with all the other gods and spirits and meeting with the devil and telling him to do stuff. And it's so weird.
Yeah.
And...
Well, that's why I'm talking about with the Calvinism thing is... So that explains the preordination. That was Calvin.
Yeah.
But God being all-powerful and all-knowing, because you're talking about the story of Eden, right?
Yeah.
Where like he asks, hey, Adam, where are you? He might not actually know. Like, I don't know why there's this idea that God is all-powerful. Like, the Kabbalists kind of believed that. They had the tiers of seraphim or Kabbalists. They had these tiers of seraphim, and God was like the universe itself. But what is your third red blood cell doing right now or something, right? Like, to use...
Well, you don't know where it came from that God is all-knowing, because he is...
All-knowing and all-powerful.
Well, the all-powerful, I think, comes from if God is with you, then you win. Like, stories all throughout the Bible is if you do what God says,
Yeah.
you will be prosperous and good. And if you go against him, then you will receive the curse of God, which is not good.
But the First Nation stories up here, right? Very similar. You listen to your elders because they know what's best for you, right? Like, and they have all these stories. They have this very weird story pattern, which I don't actually like. I've not liked it my whole life because I'm always a why person, right?
Yeah.
But the First Nation, and the point of the stories might actually be to deal with kids.
Shut up and listen.
But there's so many stories where there's this group of people starving, and this wise stranger comes from the wilderness, and they go to him and they say, "Sir, we are starving. Please help us." And he says, "Go down the river until you come to a place where it forks in two. Cut down a tree there and build a fire under that tree." And so they go and they cut down the tree and they build a fire under the tree. And then he says, "Now, heap snow up on the fire and do that until your hands turn cold." Okay, and so they do that. And then, okay, now reach into the cold ashes and grab what is there. And so they do that, and they pull out like fresh fish and like berries, and they're saved from starvation. And it's like, what was the train of logic? Why did they listen to this guy that didn't know what he was doing? And like, there's this one story. I just made up that one, but there's actually a story. The guy who invented the caribou corral, right? Yeah. He was called the Moon Child, and so you can see him in the moon with his torn pant leg. You know, you always look in the moon and you see that.
I see a raven or a hook-nosed guy or a rabbit.
You know how you look in the moon and you always see that child with the pants and one leg's torn, like
No.
all the time. You're just like,
No.
I wonder how that guy got up there. So he was the guy that invented the caribou corral.
Yeah.
So he invents the caribou corral. They kill a huge amount of caribou, and then he says, "Okay, I want you to grab all the First Nations have a word for it. English has a word for it too, because English has every word.
Yeah.
I don't know either word, but it's essentially the fat of the lower intestine of a ruminant.
Yeah.
And they have like this fatty pouch on their body, basically, that you can get a pretty good meal from if you're starving.
Yeah.
And so he says, gather them all up and give them to me, and you can have the rest of the caribou. And he tells them, like, you have to wrap them up and stick them on a stick and then crack them up, crackle them over a fire, I guess. You just sort of fry a blob of fat and eat it.
That's crackling.
Yeah. So he tells them to do that, but then to give them all to him. But there's like 40 caribou, and he's handed 39 like cracklings or whatever.
How dare you? Did you shape the stars? Did you?
Well, and then he says, like, you have to give it to me, you have to give it to me. And they don't, and so he cries, and he's like, okay, I'm leaving. And then he goes up to the moon, and his mother tries to grab his leg, but she grabs the pant leg and it tears, and then he ends up on the moon. And he also, like, I told you his story, actually, right? He was the little boy who, they just find this baby in the wilderness, and so the old woman takes him and raises him as her own.
Tailson?
Yeah, he's Tailson. He grows up super fast, but he has no concept of, like...
And Raven?
And aliens, because he has no concept of human anything, right? So she's like, okay, I need you to go check the traps for me. And he's like, okay, I'll go check the traps. And she said, but you're a little boy, so I'm scared, so take the dog with you. He's like, oh, okay, fine. So he has the dog on a leash, and so he just drags the dog behind him while he's walking. And the dog, like, fills up with snow because he's just dragging it through the snow so fast, and the dog dies. And then he comes back, and the mother's like, what are you doing? And then he's like, what? I just took the dog like you told me to. And then I've read two variants of the story. In the one, the mother scolds him, and then he just goes on his way. But in the other one, he actually just touches the dog, and it comes back to life, and it's perfectly happy. And I kind of wonder if that was added after to make him seem less bad. But he is a very Tailson character. But he also does, like, everything he does is very, like, go do this random thing, and you will get a huge benefit. Or you'll get a punishment. And it's like, why should I listen to you? But to go to your point of God, right?
Yeah.
At no point along that is he ever considered, like, you never see them as all powerful, right? It's more like, these are wise people and you should listen to wise people. And so you win if you listen to God, because God knows way more than you. God is the wisest person. Like, replace God with Batman in all of the stories, right? Like, Batman says you need to do this to win the battle. You're like, yeah, I'm going to listen to Batman. Batman knows what he's doing. But it doesn't mean he's all-knowing and all-powerful. It just means he's the most powerful and the most wise. And I wonder if it's more of a need, like you're saying, like the Crusaders are like, there's like 5 million Arabs over there. I am not going to battle. It's like, well, you've got God on your side. It's like, yeah, so? It's like, well, because we always win with God. Yeah, we win when we have the advantage. It's like, no, we always win with God. So I wonder if it had to be added in over time to, you know, convince people along.
Well, the thing is, God also will conquer over evil.
But that doesn't mean he's all powerful. It just means he'll win.
He had the power to flood the... Like, he's done some pretty crazy stuff.
Like Zoroaster, right? Zoroastrianism, which is basically Christianity, combined with, like, esoteric Kabbalism and Gnosticism.
Yeah.
There's 4 stages of humanity. And in the first, Zoroaster lost to evil. And in the second, evil ruled the world. And in the third... he is the age we live in, the third age, I think. Yeah. I might be getting the first 2 ages wrong, but in the third age, he is fighting evil, and it's a back and forth struggle. And in the fourth age, he will win, and evil will be forever slain. So that's it. But it doesn't... Zoroaster is struggling, right? Like, and if you go back, like, to the Aztecs, they have, like, the cycles of the earth.
Yeah.
And Quetzalcoatl lost, but he's ready for round 2, but he lost.
And there's that really depressing legend about Ra.
Which is, or you mean Osiris or Ra? Because Osiris was like murdered by Set. And then...
No, Ra. When Ra returns, the world will be cleansed in fire.
No,
you're the one who told me about this.
Well, was it Ra? Like Thoth?
It's an Egyptian myth.
Is it Thoth's prophecy or something?
Yeah.
Or... Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's basically everyone will die, and the new good world be created, and then the return of Quetzalcoatl is everyone will die and be brought to the new world where no one dies ever again.
I mean, like there was that Thoth's like prophecy, right, where he talked about like this great civilization will just eventually just be this wasteland. Yeah,
Thoth's prophecy, is about the
it's part of there somewhere, yeah. But it doesn't mean they're all powerful, right? It's just they're very, very powerful. But somewhere along the line, it's like I can. Like, Batman will win, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that Batman knows where I am right now and what I'm doing at this instant.
Somewhere it might have talked about God being all-powerful in the Bible.
Because I know I think it's the Torah or the Talmud? What's the old Jewish book?
Torah is the old book.
Okay.
The Talmud is the book of recorded debates.
It's like the argument. It's the oldest internet forum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Talmud contains the part, I think the Talmud contains the part where Jesus is being boiled alive in excrement forever in hell. It's the old internet forum.
Do you think the Talmud's being added to? Like, do you think they still add to it? Or do you think, like, someone said, locking because y'all can't behave?
That might have happened.
Just like, or someone, like a priest, like, sorry, not a rabbi, like, writes in it, like, yesterday, right? Yeah. And then it's like, hey, don't necro this thread.
Yeah.
But and which is why I am a proud necromancer, because I think this arguments continue into the future. Like, it's crazy. You'll see this on Reddit where someone asks this question and someone will reply to it. And then someone will say, wow, this was like 4 years ago.
The question was never answered in the first place.
Is this not a conversation? Did the conversation not continue? Like, this isn't... Like, why are you using what would you call it? An archival form of communication if you are only interested in instant communication? Like, you might as well just go and talk to this person face to face, right? But this way you can have a forum that is permanent. It's etched in stone, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously the internet can disappear tomorrow, but the conversation is meant to... The medium of the conversation is that it will actually continue over time. But anyways, in the Torah, I think it was the Torah I read about God, like Yahweh, or not Yahweh even, Jehovah, I guess, or whatever his original name.
You said Jehovah.
before the Tetragrammation, whatever his name was, going, and he was like, he's very similar to Marduk.
Yeah.
He's a demigod hero who, kind of like Hercules, who takes his place on the Council of Gods and then fights his way to become the king of the gods. And then over time, the aspects of those gods becomes more and more like with the story of Job, right?
Yeah.
Like he has this council of gods that he became the king of from being this divine demigod, essentially, or even mortal. And then he goes to become a... the aspects of his council just become added into him.
Yeah.
And then he is just that one god. And you could almost see it, I guess, as him growing in power.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when he's fighting Pharaoh's magicians, he's not at max power. But then by the time Jesus comes around, he's pretty much on top of things. And then he's up there. You could see something like that. But was the crusade against Muslims?
Kind of.
Or were they not Muslims yet, or were they?
They were Muslims.
Yeah.
The crusade was so the first crusade was a retaliation.
Yeah.
Against the Arab invasion, and they were Muslims who invaded, and then the crusade was also used to reconquer the Holy Land, establish the Kingdom of Jerusalem, and then basically all the crusades after that were trying to reconquer the kingdom after Saladin took it.
Because it's kind of weird, this idea of this all-powerful, all-knowing God, right?
Yeah.
When both sides of a massive war worship the same God.
They do and they don't. And I am too much of a coward to say more on that.
No, that's fair. But, like, just, they're both Abrahamic gods. You can just say that, right? And I think that...
I will put, they're very different religions because their Islam doesn't recognize Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.
Yeah, well, they recognize him as a prophet, right?
Yeah, they recognize him as a prophet. And there are two caveats to being a Christian. You must accept the resurrection, and you must accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. And basically, that's all you need to be a Christian.
Now, because I've talked to some Christians about that.
Yeah.
And they have said they don't necessarily agree. Now, I think it'll depend on the Christian.
Yeah.
But
well, the Christians who disagree with that aren't Christian.
Under one definition of Christian,
Yes.
right? But I could make up my own denomination right now. And I could call everyone... Now, it'd be heresy, but I could do it.
Wouldn't it be apostasy?
Well, if I switched over to that religion, I'd be an apostate.
Yeah.
But I would also be a heretic by preaching a variation of the faith that wasn't... But I'm not a heretic, I'm an infidel.
Yeah.
But I could become a heretic.
Yeah.
I could go up well, it depends, like... Because you would think that a heretic would be better than an infidel.
No, they're worse.
But a heretic, I guess, is a traitor.
Yeah, don't you remember the whole line? If I was in the room with the enemy of traitor and I had a gun with 2 bullets, I'd shoot the traitor twice.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess there's that.
It's like, who is worse, the demon who was born evil or Satan who was an angel who fell from grace?
And there was...
Satan's way worse.
Yeah. The reverse was angels celebrate far more it's like there was like a numerical value, it was like 10 times or something. Angels celebrate 10 times more the
sinner going to
heaven than a good man going to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I have had direct experience with in elementary school, where if you were a good student that didn't ever upset the teacher or anything, they never tell any stories about you. But if you were this trouble case that the teacher was always wrangling with and dealing with, they have fond stories to tell about that student.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure. Now, the answer here is actually that...
Be interested.
Well, it's that goodness is its own reward.
Mm.
Right? So that we are celebrating that these people have finally found the thing that is actually the maximum enjoyment level. Right? Potentially. That is an answer. But I do think being interesting is also important.
Yeah.
And I think that absolute order, like you are completely subservient to your teacher or your boss or whatever, it may be necessary, like depending on how crazy they are and tyrannical and stupid and short-sighted they are. However, nobody is perfect, and all order becomes stagnant.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name? Nurgle in Warhammer is the god of order, right? Like,
yes.
You need a little bit of chaos in there to constantly be reinvigorating.
Well, I actually really like the four gods of chaos.
Yeah.
Because they kind of encompass almost all of evil. Someone could argue Malal, you need him in there, the fifth chaos god.
For atheism?
No, not atheism. Malal is the god of malice. He's like literally the god of evil intent.
Right.
But he keeps on getting retconned out of existence or kicked out as not the fifth chaos god.
Right.
But like the four chaos gods really do cover the aspects of evil. But each one of them is actually also can be switched to a good god.
Yeah.
And that's actually even in their stories, the corruption of falling to chaos is looking at them as a good god. It's not, ooh, I'm going to be evil, I'm going to go with chaos god. It's like Nurgle is the god of order, I'm going to worship Nurgle. Or it's like the Imperium is so stagnant in its ideas, I want creativity and change, I'm going to worship Tisnich.
Well,
It's
I really like this. I care about things. I have wonder in my heart. That's Slaanesh.
Yeah, and
or I'm brave.
I'm brave. I'm honorable. I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah,
that's Khorne.
Yeah. Or
I really like to poop and then eat it.
I don't fall to dogmatism. That's the atheist. That's the god of atheism, right? Like that. Because I think atheism. Not necessarily atheism, but skepticism is important. And I think the Jews did a very good job of codifying skepticism into their religion.
Yeah.
Although it is interesting.
All right, you suckers, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do this, this, and this, and if you don't, I'm going to smite you. Hey, I don't know about that, God. What about I do 3 of those things? Fine, you can do just 3 of those things, but you better do them or smite you. But Joe's got a gam leg. He can only go do 2 of them. Okay, fine. 2 of them. What about half of one of those things? What? Yeah, half of one. Fine, half of one of those things. So it might be really hard to do half of one of those things. So what about 1/8 of it? Fine, do 1/8 of one of those things, and we'll have a deal. Hey, God, I failed to do 1/8 of one of those things. Smited.
How about I actually do a full one of those things, but you throw on like 50 shekels as well, just well, even
the smited. That's the whole story of like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah. There's good people in the town. Okay, prove it. Okay, I couldn't find any good people. Let me just find like 10 good people. Okay.
Let me find just one good person. All right, Lot. He's a good person. All right, I'll send an angel to do it. Angel gets back and goes, God, they were awful. You need to destroy that town. Like, Lot's a good guy, so he can save him and his family. But everyone else, no.
Have you seen the Saturday morning breakfast cereal of Sodom and Gomorrah? Where the guy... He goes out, he's like, just let me go into the cities and I will prove that there's a good person there. And he comes back and he's covered in lipstick marks in a party. He's like, no, I need to go back. I will find someone that is good, I promise. And he goes back and he's like drunk and his shirt's undone. And he's like, okay, one more time. If I just find 10 good people.
Well, the really disturbing thing about the angel is it's like, hey, Lot, we hear you have a new guy in your house that hasn't been sodomized yet. We want to sodomize him. Well, I was like, what? No, you can't sodomize him. He's my guest. Sodomize my daughters. Well, we've already sodomized your daughters. We want to sodomize the new guy.
Glad this house is soundproof.
But that is like when they say we want to meet him. That is literally what there's the less censored translation of the story.
Well, that's actually the other thing about myths in general. Is there was a guy, I can't remember his name. He passed away in like the 40s or something. Like it was a long time ago, right?
Is he the guy who censored all of Grimm's fairy tales?
No. This is up here in like Northwest Canada.
Yeah.
He was this old native dude who he was around before First Nation contact with Europeans.
Yeah.
And he learned English. He got along with people. They liked him. He was incredibly crude and crass. And he would tell the myths that no one else would tell. And the histories no one else would tell. And I think this is probably true. Like, when you read his stories, you're like, wow, why are other mythologies in different cultures not this like disgusting? But they probably were. It's just nobody wanted to admit it, right? So they get cleaned up and vanish over time.
Do you remember in Your Name?
Yeah.
How the Chinese shrine maidens the Japanese shrine maidens prepared sock?
Oh, by like chewing up the rice and spitting it.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing, Amaterasu, the Okami game.
Yeah.
So
or I told you like the story of Ra, right?
Yeah.
How he created the universe.
No, but so the Amaterasu is one of the reasons why she went into the cave is her brother went into her temple and basically like defecated and pissed on everything and then broke it up, then rampaged through her fields, destroying them.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, I've had it with everyone. I'm going into a cave. And then she grabs the boulder, pulls it away. And then people realize, oh, we shouldn't have upset her because she is literally the sun.
In that book I just read, Memory, Sorrow, Thorn, Book 2.
Yeah.
The Stone of Farewell.
Yeah.
The shipborn goddess, the shipborn elf.
Yeah.
Her name is like Marasu.
Yeah.
She lives in a cave with a giant mirror.
Yeah.
With light shining in around her that she doesn't let. That's just Amaterasu, right? Like,
yes, it is.
The elves are all just like Japanese people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was like very like, wait a minute, that's the god with the mirror and the light and everything.
Yeah. Well, the mirror was used to trick her.
Yeah.
I do love also the story of the mirror. It's like, oh, there's a really beautiful goddess out here. You better come and see her. She's more beautiful than you. What? There's no one more pretty than me. Grabs a boulder, pulls out of the way. Whoa, she is beautiful. All right, Amaterasu, come and give us a sub. No, one moment. Man, she is gorgeous. Wait, that's me. I am gorgeous. I'm going to keep this now. What? Yep, it's wearing on my back.
And then I'm going to...
It's my symbol.
Yeah. Best item in the... Like, did you ever use the swords or the beads, really? Like,
I use the beads.
I guess the beads are pretty
The beads are so satisfying.
But I like the parry with the shield and the...
The sword is really good if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard.
You can play with a mouse and keyboard?
Yep.
How? Oh,
the Steam version.
There's a Steam version of the game?
Yeah, I own it.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Steam version.
No, it's really good with a mouse and keyboard.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I could...
The game, actually, I think is better with a mouse and keyboard than the Wiimotes. Besides the feeling of movement when you're like flicking the beats.
Yeah. I also like the headbutting.
Yeah.
I got like a sore elbow from doing all the headbutting though. Like,
or even using the mirror, like you had to have the right rhythm with the mirror.
But you know, like the double jump?
Yeah.
You have to actually like hit the cliff and with the...
And the dashing you have to... Yeah.
Although I really liked the combat where, like with the remote, where you're getting scared, you're surrounded, you're like, hey, gotta get a bomb, and then you like miss it, and then you do it again. Like the Wiimote was great for just the brush feeling of drawing.
Yeah, no, the mouse and keyboard makes the drawing really easy. And the best thing about the mouse and keyboard is the stupid cherry blossom ritual.
Yeah.
Doesn't take you 3 hours. It's like, I remember, this is weird, complaining to someone about Okami and how hard this thing was. And she said, oh, that's super easy. It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, it's super easy. I'll even do it now. I have it loaded. And she took out her DS and drew on the screen with the DS pen.
That's cheating.
That's completely different.
Yeah, that was the hardest part of the game, I think. Well, besides the bit I never beat. Because there's one thing I never beat, which is the final blockhead fight.
Yeah.
But
even the fight against Arashi of drawing the wire lines to his mouth, it's really
I think
tricky.
My friend, you know who I'm talking about, girl with very long hair.
Yeah.
Huge Okami fan. I think she said she beat it using markers. Like he just like put dots on the TV, like dry erase markers, just like, and then you know the points you have to press. Yeah. So that could have worked, but I think you just get like the final beat or something, so it's not.
You get unlimited ink.
Yeah, so it's like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that Tad Williams, with that, like having Amaterasu in the books, he does something that I would really like other, especially upcoming fantasy authors, to take note of, and Brandon Sanderson, is your story is so much more powerful when you can weave in that existing substrate of mythology that has already been created.
Like Christianity.
Shintoism.
The Inuit.
Whatever you...
The fairies. Like his elves are very much fairies.
Yeah.
It's just then when you see them, they're not fairies and it's weird.
Yeah, I guess they're kind of the... I think his elves It might be the problem is Prince, whatever his name is, Jerkis or whatever.
Jariki
is a weirdo, but they're very not mystical like the elves for a lot of the story. But then when he goes to the elven city, he tries to make them mystical again.
Yeah.
But they're kind of ruined for me at that point because Jariki and his friends are much more normal like people. And they just live in that little ice cave and
so the idea with Jariki, which I think might be the problem of introducing Jariki and his friends first, is Jariki is much closer to a human than the elves are because he's quite young. Yeah. And the young elves aren't the shipborn who remember the past because the elves are very much death worshippers. Yeah. Where Jariki isn't. He wants to live. He wants to experience the world. That's the whole reason Simon meets him in the first place, is he's literally robbing from a woodsman because it's fun.
Yeah. But that's the other thing is he was in a dumb trap, right? Yeah. And he got freed from the trap. And Simon murdered a man, which wasn't great.
Messed up Simon.
But the lengths Jariki goes to repay Simon is like ridiculous. Like I think he paid off his debt a long time.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's Jariki actually wants a friend.
When like 90% of his retainers died fighting a dragon, like that.
Well, so to be fair with fighting the dragon, though,
let's not spoil the dragon too much. I'm just thinking now, but
that was his vengeance. Yeah. His people the elves hate dragons.
And to be fair, that wasn't actually a description of the scene, but
and the elves hate dragons.
Yeah, so so I guess what we could say is Jariki is doing what he wants to do anyways, and he's using Simon as the excuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very much what it is, I think.
And then his sister is like a pedophile, which is
she's joking around.
You don't just flirt with a 14-year-old when you're like 1,000 years old.
He's 16 at that point.
Okay. Well, that's all right then. You can flirt with a 16-year-old when you're 1,000 years old. Have you seen? There's a really great Studio C where it's doing Twilight, right? Yeah. And so he's like,
yes, I have seen that.
He's like, I'm so much older than you. We can't be. She's like, no, it's okay. I'm 17. It's fine. It's fine. Well, okay. How old are you actually? How much have you seen? I'm 47. What? Yeah, I'm 40. Well, I thought you'd say like 200 or 500. That makes it worse somehow.
And it has all the references with her dad.
He's like, oh yeah, wait, what's your last name? Wait, do you know? That's my dad. Oh, he was my best friend back in high school. Can I have his number? I'm gonna phone him.
It's like, hey, very good sketch.
But it really points it out. Like, why is 47 worse than like 500? It's not. 500 is way worse. And I think that is something that needs to be. She's flirting with this 16-year-old who she calls. I hate it so. Every nickname they give him, I hate so much. I hate Mooncalf. I hate Mooncalf because of the way the word sounds. Yeah. It's like worse than moist. It's like Mooncalf. It's like It's like you're going because both those words are not meant to go back to back like that. Yeah. And like it feels like you're throwing up. Yeah. As you read it in your head. And then, because I don't know if you do this, but I shape words with my tongue when I read. So, like, I'm basically speaking while I read them.
I'm not going to...
Well, I'm not actually... I don't think my tongue's actually moving, but the neurons from my tongue moving are firing.
Yeah, no, I can do this thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's considered actually like the way to read a book and not being an ignoramus. Yeah. Which is reading in your head without having to speak while you read.
No, I am, but I'm... Like, because I don't have... a voice in my head, so I have the signals for my tongue to move, right? So you can imagine like sending the signal to your bicep, let's say to Twitch, right, without doing it.
So you're an NPC.
No, what I'm saying is I'm sending the signals to my tongue to move without moving my tongue. I have to
change this to the NPC and the Fool and the Philosopher.
Wait, how's there three people still?
I'm the Fool and the Philosopher, and you're the NPC.
Why am I the NPC?
Because you don't have an internal monologue.
That's what NPCs have. You have a code running telling you what to do in your background, but I'm actually free will. Like the computer cannot predict what Link is going to do while I'm holding the controller, right? But if you have the internal monologue, then that's just an AI algorithm running the thing going on. You're like, oh, I'm thirsty. I am picking up a glass of water. I am drinking a glass of water. Glug, 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 glug. Drink, drink, drink. Whereas I just do the action because I am PT, I guess, would be the alternative.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, it's
I'm
not
actually in
how it
control.
works.
Yeah.
People
So,
with internal monologue don't think, oh, I'm going to drink the water. They just do that anyways. They're thinking about deeper
so they
things
do it
going on.
anyways. Yeah. No, so I don't need to think about deeper things. I'm doing it anyways.
No, but you don't have anything else going on.
No, I'm doing the deeper stuff anyways. I don't need to worry about it. And I am on like another level. It's like you're fighting down in the demiurge's like earth, but I am like Eru above it all. I'm on the next layer of the seraphim. I'm the Sephiroth. I am.
You're not even at a Metatron.
I am the cherubim.
So I'm at Metatron. You're like calling yourself Seraphim and Cherubim. I'm at Metatron.
He's trapped by the demiurgus because he's a YouTuber. So
His name is based off of Metatron.
so,
The Metatron is the only thing next to God.
but it's
The Metatron's in charge of the hosts of heaven.
let's see here.
He's like the Megatron.
Metals, metaphysics. No meta. Okay, let's look at the Sephiroth then.
Or the Meta Hexabergen Bigelbot.
How do you spell Sephiroth?
One-winged angel.
Well, Sephiroth is a plural, so it can't be. It's 3/8 or 361, the 10 infinitudes. Okay, so see here. This is the Kabbalistic scheme of the four worlds, right?
Yeah.
You're here. I'm here. That's what I'm saying.
You know, the funny thing is, because this is all visual,
Yeah.
I make the thumbnails.
Yeah. You already did the chat.
I can choose where to put you.
Okay, so we have
Look, you're species and I'm order. Is that the correct?
wait a minute. What are the names of the bells in the Seven Kingdoms series?
I can't remember their names.
I think they might be based on the Sephirothic tree. Like, we've got Beth here, we've got Aleph, we've got Teth,
Those aren't their names.
we've got Daleth, something the mournful. We've got P and Semic.
Those aren't their names. I can tell you that.
But it's a similar, like they're Hebrew names though. In like Hod, Kether, Jesed, Malkuth. I mean, there's 10 Sephiroth and there's 7 keys, but
7 bells or 9 bells. I can't remember how many bells there are. Keys to the Kingdom, and those are different books. Wait, did he write all those? Did he write the 7 Towers, Keys to the Kingdom, and Lyrium?
yep. No, Garthix is awesome. Yeah.
A little weird. I guess he's Australian.
No,
And he has heterochromia.
oh, he does.
I thought he did.
I believe it. He's got to have something weird about him.
Yeah.
I figure he probably wears a cape or something. You know, looks
Yeah.
like a little vampire fella.
My work here is already done. Anyways, what were we talking about?
So
I'm the Chad, and you're the Soyjack. That's right.
now, see, I am the ancient of ancients, and you are the man trying
That
to be
looks
a gymnast.
painful.
I don't know what he's supposed to represent.
No, see, I'm the ancient ancients,
Yeah.
and you're the eagle on my shoulder.
Oh. I love these diagrams. I need to read this book again because there's so much information there. It's like impossible to retain, like all of it. But it is interesting that the like this diagram, right?
Yeah.
This is the geocentric model of the universe. So you have Earth, you have the sun on the outside going around. And it's like, okay, that's totally wrong. It's like, no, it's 100% true and correct. It's just you're using it to represent the physical universe rather than the metaphysical universe.
Yeah.
And I think like the ancients weren't stupid. Oh yeah, so the First Nations had very powerful medicine.
Yes.
So I think a lot of the cures though were kind of is like strychnine the thing you can make from poplar trees or something. Anyways, it's basically like it cures you or you're dead. Like,
yeah, and it makes your Actually, let's not.
Okay. But the I actually saw you can buy online because I was trying to look up what the name of the powder on poplar trees is called.
Yeah.
I think it's called Bloom, but I'm not sure because I only found one reference for it.
Yeah.
But I was trying to look up the name, and all I could find on the internet, because the internet's useless now,
Yeah.
but it was like powdered poplar bark, right?
Yeah.
It's just everywhere. It's like, or like concentrated, like extracted poplar, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You can sell that? Like, that is a poison. Like, that's
It's a
dangerous.
painkiller.
Poplar, I don't think poplar is. Poplar is,
Sorry, willow's that.
willow is the painkiller. No, poplar you can make quinine from, which is like you can kill like malaria with it.
Yeah.
But it's like a poison.
Yeah.
A very powerful and it's like, wait, isn't that dangerous to just be selling that? Like, I mean, it's very easy to make it yourself.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like there should be some. I don't know. Should poisons be illegal? Here's an interesting question, actually. Should it be illegal to sell poisons? Because who's to tell you that you can't have a poison, right? Or can't buy a poison or do what you want with? Because most things you can make yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I don't think I talked about it on the podcast, but like when I was reading Mysterious Island, the hero, Cyrus Smith, goes to the island and he takes saltpeter and he takes pyrite and he like melts them down and he gets like sulfuric acid and he gets sulfate of niter, and then he takes those and he denatures them and he gets nitrate and like well, he has the sulfuric acid, but then he goes and he extracts glycerin from the fat of a seal, and then he combines the glycerin with the nitrate and he makes nitroglycerin, and then he has like this high explosive and he like, blows up a...
I was just thinking that you've talked with elders about medicine.
Yeah.
And they've basically told you not to talk about it.
Yeah. That is something that they didn't tell me about. That's a different...
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not that. And you're saying that the medicine was terrible in Europe at like the...
Yeah, or the... I wouldn't say terrible exactly. It's more along the lines of they were trying to apply science to it.
Well, I wonder
Yeah.
if alchemists were medicine men and monks were medicine men, because monks did do medicine.
Yeah.
But I actually wonder if, like, you see some monks crazy drawing in the margins or the Voynich manuscript, and that's code for medicine, much like the alchemists did. And so we think that they didn't have medicines or treating things. And it's like you go to the church to get healed, and it's like there'll be the few wackos that the church will pray for you to get healed or carve a cross in your head. And then that's a story to write about. But actually, a lot of people got better at the church because there's an alchemist in that church who's like, oh yeah, I can treat that.
I think it wouldn't be fair to say that like the Europeans were terrible at medicine. I was thinking more along the lines of and maybe I'm wrong here, but the Americas in general, like North and South, seem to have a natural abundance of incredibly powerful plants.
Yes.
And so it's more a matter of like for instance, the Amazon is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They were making rubber, like they were vulcanizing rubber way before anyone else because they could.
Yeah.
They just had the materials. Whereas the Europeans, they had to extract chemicals from the ground and do what they could to create these things from instead of just having it handed to them. For example, in the Mysterious Island, a guy actually does get sick from malaria. And they try to make a cure for him, but they can't do it because they don't have the access to the chemical extraction process, right?
Yeah.
But in a different part of the book, they do mention like poplar trees, and Jules Verne just didn't know about it, right? But he does know a lot of medicines, though, and there is a ton of medicines they are able to make, but they're weak, and so they try to help him, but they can't. But then there's a twist in the Mysterious Island, which is kind of on the level of Rosebud.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's a spoiler. I'll keep it vague, I guess, just in case. But essentially, a man with very high technology ends up giving them capsules of the drug so they're able to save the guy from malaria. But I think they could have just used the poplar tree to do it potentially. But you know, I think you are right. I think I was a bit too broad brush there because not just alchemists. I think folk knowledge and that sort of
like
thing.
the medicine woman in the woods, the herbalist.
Or just the stuff that your parents tell you when you're a kid, right?
Like, can't you use oak gall for something?
You can make ink out of it.
I thought you could also do a medicine with oak gall. It makes really good ink, though.
It might still be used, actually. Well, a lot of stuff got abandoned with the Industrial Revolution. That was used for ages, so it's hard to say now. And there is, of course, like the British plant, like, you know, lungwort,
King's foil.
colt's foot, like all these. King's foil's Lord of the Rings.
Nettle stew.
But like everything that has wart in its name, that means good for, right?
Yeah.
So lungwort's good for your lungs, right?
Yeah.
So there was, now it's a bit confusing sometimes because if it's like a flea wart, it doesn't mean it's good for fleas. It means it goes for getting rid of fleas. But there was folk medicines that were useful and powerful, and I'm sure every culture around the world has some useful plants besides maybe the Inuit.
You could sting yourself with stinging nettles to treat a condition.
I heard of a guy that got rid of tendinitis with a bee sting. Now, I'm not sure if that's the safe way to go about it, but it was because...
There's a ton of things you can do with stinging needles, and I think one of them is actually purposely stinging yourself with them to treat something.
But it like releases cortisols or something when you get stung by like poison.
Yeah.
And those can be... You can actually get cortisol injections for like tendinitis, right? So there is like, you could probably relieve like arthritis or something with stinging needles, I imagine. I'm not saying go and try it. I'd say check with someone else, but I think it would work. Yeah. Just kind of thinking about it, right?
Look, as someone who has actually had to remove stinging nettles, they are nasty. I was wearing gloves and thick sleeves, and there's a tiny gap between my sleeve and my glove, and I got it on the wrist, and it was itchy for days. Like, stinging nettles are unpleasant plants to work with.
Yeah, you should have gotten
a tiger torch.
I was going to say someone to pee on it.
No.
But I was going to say, what was, you said someone ruined Amaratsu's husband?
No, it's her brother.
Right, yeah, you got to get Amaratsu's brother to pee on your arm.
No thanks.
It's the only way. Is he a god too?
Yes.
Yeah.
God of Storms, I think.
He's that tiger dude or a different one?
No, he's a god of storms. He's not one of the guardians. Those are demons with the drums on their backs. Those aren't gods.
Oh.
Although some of them are gods. It's confusing.
Yeah, I don't know any mythology well. If you there's just so much to mythology that you just start. I probably know.
I mean, the Christian mythology is pretty straightforward.
Oh, even then, like, who's King Death? Like, what's this? And there's all the books that aren't in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And there's all the saints if you want to go into Catholicism.
Yeah. But, like, who's, God, I can't think of any mythology I actually know, really. Like, maybe Norse.
Not really.
Like, I've read a bit of Norse mythology, but...
Norse mythology really confuses me with the giants. Because the giants, the Jotun, are like the same size as the gods and the Asura? Or are they called?
No, I think the giants are way bigger.
They might be a little bit bigger.
No, I think they're... Because, like, Thor was, like, trapped in one's hand at one point, I think.
But there's also the story of...
Unless Thor's tiny.
Well, no. There's also the story of when Thor lost his hammer.
Yeah.
And
he disguises himself as a giant.
As a woman.
Yeah.
To marry them to get his hammer back. And then there's the other story of his drinking contest with the giants. And the giants wanted... This is such a Thor story. The giants wanted to trick Thor into a drinking contest. They thought, okay, we'll outdrink him. Then when he falls asleep at night, we'll murder him in his sleep. And they couldn't outdrink him. And they were using really strong alcohol.
Well, the giants are probably shapeshifters, I would know. Like, there's this... And
the whole... It was a giant who built the walls of Asgard, him and his horse, and Loki was a giant that tricked them. Loki's half giant, half god.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, how does that work? I always get it confused.
How Loki's half giant, half god?
No, Loki is Odin's brother, I think.
Blood brother.
Yeah.
They did the cut the hands things shake.
Yeah.
And Odin's so powerful that his blood went into Loki and turned him into a half god.
Right, yeah. And Thor and Tyr are Odin's sons?
Yes.
Yeah. And Tyr is the god of war.
Thor, Tyr, and the one-hand guy.
Tyr is the one.
Sorry. Thor, Tyr, and Balder
Yeah.
are Odin's sons.
Yeah, I think Balder is.
Yes. What's interesting, so this is actually something I learned recently, is the story of Balder getting killed
Yeah.
is some say is a blind god that got tricked, but other stories is the god killed him on purpose, and he was blind because he killed Balder. And so they moved the story around because sometimes the guy who killed him did it on purpose.
Instead of being tricked by Loki.
Yeah, and it was based. So how that comes about is Loki was added later to the stories of Ragnarok,
Yeah.
and so some records Loki wasn't in the Norse mythology until much later. He basically became their satanic figure to blame all the things that happened on instead of the gods just making mistakes. It's Loki's fault.
If you think about it, Loki is kind of the same sort of person that Calvin would have argued with, because the reason Loki was evil is he has a perfect view of the future, right? Like he's a perfect precognizant.
Yeah.
And he saw that he would be tortured forever until the end of time, and that earthquakes are Loki. Like that's him screaming and writhing in pain.
Yeah.
Under the earth.
It's whenever his wife can't take care of him. Like, get yourself a wife like Loki.
Yeah, who just sits with him forever and stop. Well, if she had a brain, right, she would just kill the Earth Serpent, and then
kill the Earth Serpent. Why don't you?
And then it would stop dripping poison onto him.
I think that's really easy to kill the serpent that the gods locked you into with punishment.
Yeah, so she should just kill the Earth Serpent, and then Loki could be.
So what's interesting
It's
is
a very similar story to Prometheus, though.
Gleipnir, the chains of Fenrir, was flawed. Because you know how the dwarves kept getting cheated by the gods?
Yeah.
So when the dwarves made Gleipnir, they decided not to make the chains good enough.
Put some copyright protection in there? Or...
And no, they made it so they would break on purpose.
Oh, because they're just sick of Loki messing with them.
They're sick of all the gods not paying them.
Yeah. Well, it was Loki mostly that did it.
Yeah.
Like, Loki would do it on behalf of other gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then... Well, yeah, that's the problem, right? So Loki's a guy who can fix things, right? Like, Loki, he solves all the problems. You go, Loki fixes them. You don't question what Loki's doing.
Yeah.
And one day you end up with an 8-legged horse. Okay, that's fine. You don't question it. And it turns out that Loki is a jerk.
Where you're like... Well, I think Odin's a jerk. Like, hey, Loki, I hear you have a daughter. Can I ride her around everywhere for... Like...
He gave it to him as a gift.
It's a little weird, though, isn't it? It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yes.
It's extremely weird. That's my niece. That 8-legged horse. Yep, my brother gave birth to her.
Yeah!
What? Excuse me, what? Best horse this side of the Arctic.
Very fast. No horses as fast as Sleipnir.
Yeah, so Tyr depends on the story. He's either the son of Odin or Hymir the giant.
I think one of the other things that people attribute, it's weird because you know the revisionist history thing of like, oh, the gods are actually evil, like the Christian god's actually evil and the demons are the good guy.
Yeah.
They've been doing that with Norse mythology lately and like Greek mythology.
Well, like Hades is... Well, I mean, they've been doing the Hades is the good guy.
But they've been doing it with Norse mythology, which is Odin's the villain.
Odin's the villain.
Yeah, like that sort... I think it started with American Gods.
I mean, Odin wasn't even the villain in American Gods. He's just very, very, very ruthless.
Yeah, but like in the Blood of Gods, he's the villain. In Thor Ragnarok, he's the... Sorry, not... In
God of War?
God of War, he's the villain.
Oh.
And one of the big things that they harp on about is... So, there are the Asgardians...
Yeah.
And there are the Azura or whatever. They're like the...
Oh, the Aesir.
The Aesir.
Yeah.
And the gods basically usurp the Aesir and Odin's wife.
Oh, so he's a colonizer.
Odin's wife is Frigg.
Yeah.
And she's an Aesir.
Language.
She's an Aesir.
Yeah.
And Basically, a part of their truce was she was married to Odin, but it's like a slavery marriage, and she doesn't actually love him.
Ah.
And she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Isn't she the god of marriage?
And she's got a beauty, I think.
I thought she's also the goddess of marriage. Well, that's the other problem. Odin has two wives, which are Frigg and Freya.
Yeah, something like that.
But they're the same person, but they aren't.
Let's see. Where is Frigg in the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
For context, he has 3 books on mythology right now that he's going through.
Yeah, just the ones that are relevant to the... Freya is the... her name means mistress. Is the goddess of family. She's part of the Vanir, not the Aesir.
So, no, that's Freya. Frigg is, I think, a part of it.
Oh, part of the Aesir.
Yeah. But I'm pretty certain...
Frigg. There we go. Principal goddess of the Aesir. Okay, so wait.
Yeah. But I'm pretty certain they're the same person.
Okay, so no, Freya isn't married to Odin.
Oh, no, she isn't?
According to this, she's not. So Freya is the head of the Vanir, and Frigg is the head of the Aesir.
Yeah.
And Frigg married Odin.
And Odin is the head of the Asgardians, then? Or the Vanir Asgardians?
L-M-N-O... Din.
You think it'd be one of the biggest sections in this book on Norse mythology?
Well, sort of. He has a decent section,
yeah.
But then half this book is just, oh, this is another name for Odin.
Ah.
So, Odin is the head of the Norse and German pantheons.
Yeah.
The cynical, misogynistic double dealer. Let's see. His name means fury. Oh, like Odium.
Yeah.
Ah. I wonder if Odium's named after Odin or the other way around.
His name's also Woden, which is the German version.
Odin is the son of the giant Bur. He has 2 brothers, Vili and Vi. Together they slay Ymir, and that becomes the world. His wife is Frigg. And Thor is a child Odin had with the giant Jord. Vali is from the giantess Rindr. So he's been around.
Yeah.
He guides people to the dead. He's a necromancer and a psychopomp. And he's the god of the hanged man, lord of the revenants. I didn't know he was a necromancer. He's the master of the slain. I knew that one, I guess. He's omniscient. He likes to test his learning against the Vathrodonir, which are the giants. So he appears to be... I guess not an Aesir or a Vanir. I don't actually know what the definition of a Vanir is.
Well, they're like the old gods that got beaten.
But he's a giant born, I guess, which is interesting.
Well, something else symbolically weird about Odin is... So, Fenrir swallows the sun, right?
Yeah.
And Odin rides Sleipnir into Fenrir's mouth with his spear to recover the sun, but Odin fails. And then his other son, the one-handed one, Tyr, kills Fenrir to recover Odin and the sun, but they're both dead, or like Odin's dead.
Yeah.
However, Odin... What I don't get is why Odin rode into the mouth to do it.
I think he was just swallowed, wasn't he? Or was he...
No, he purposely went in.
Well,
he rode Sleipnir in with the Swain spear.
To get the Cimarrows, maybe?
To get the sun... yeah. To get the sun back. I wonder if Odin didn't originally die in Ragnarok, but then the Christian version of him did.
I'm not sure if he does actually die. I think he might be reborn. He is Odin.
The big thing about Odin is he...
Oh, no. Vidar kills Fenrir, according to this one.
Okay.
Let's see. Tyr and Gar... Oh, no. Tyr dies to Garmr.
The World Serpent?
No, I think Garmr is the giant wolf. The other giant wolf. There's 3 giant wolves.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What's his name? The big one. The famous one. Fenrir is the biggest.
Yeah.
Then he has 2 kids who chase the sun and the moon.
Ah.
Yeah.
And Thor gets killed by Jormungandr.
The Midgard serpent.
Yeah.
Yeah. He dies to the Midgard serpent.
After he kills it, his poison kills him.
Oh, everyone dies, actually, according to this. It's just Lif and Lifthrasir. Wait, doesn't that just mean Lif's wife? So Lif and Lif's wife are hidden, and they repopulate the earth.
Aren't they the gods of not being seen?
No, I think that god lived, but these people were hidden from Suture.
Oh, wait. Are they Adam and Eve then?
I think they might be, yeah. Lif and Lifthrasir.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Lifthrasir just means Lif's wife. Lif, Ghijkl. My old Norse is a little rusty.
Well, this is also just one book, and it has a lot of references in it, probably.
Yeah.
But this is just one book. That's the problem. There's a lot of stories.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. So, Thrasir means striving. So she's the life striver. Oh, no, wait, sorry. No, Lif is the woman. Wait, are they both men? Hang on.
Yeah, Loki was a guy.
Well, I don't know. It might have been two dudes.
That's why I said Loki was a guy.
Yeah. Just two dudes being bros, repopulating the earth, you know? Just as dudes do. The Vanir and the Aesir were the two families of the gods who were at war with each other. And I guess Odin isn't technically part of either.
Yeah, but the marriage to Frigg is what put them at peace.
Yeah, well, they had to exchange hostages with each other. They had to send Njordir and Freyr to the Aesir, and Mimir and, I don't know how to pronounce that one, Honir maybe, to the Vanir.
Yeah.
And they're essentially warriors and peasants.
Yeah.
And they're very similar to the Indian conception of the gods, the Natsatya and the Ashevins, apparently.
Yeah.
And the Romans also had a version of this called the See, I don't know Roman mythology at all. I didn't even know they had a family of the gods. And
there's a leprechaun being grabbed there.
It's a kobold.
What? That's a kobold?
In Salzburg, there is a small gray-clad mountain kobold, the size of a hand, who lives in the mountains where veins of metal ore or hidden treasures are found.
That is very different from the modern kobold.
Well, the kobolds were basically dwarves, right? Like the modern dwarf is basically what a kobold was, and then the modern giant is what a dwarf was. I mean, the dwarves were like shapes. Here's a troll, right?
Yeah.
We don't. A lot of Norse stuff we're really unsure about because it was all written down by Christians. But troll doesn't mean a great big lumpy regenerating dude. It doesn't even mean they're made of stone. It doesn't even mean the thing that looks like a troll, right? Yeah. Because Swedish, there's a word in Swedish which is troll, which is like a formation that looks like a human. But the trolls in mythology were troll is a kind of magic. Yeah. So beings that could do trollskap, which is troll's magic, were called trolls. So troll is a word that means like witch, essentially.
There's this.
So Grendel was a troll.
There's this great Norwegian film which is called Troll.
Yeah.
And it's basically like a monster movie.
Yeah.
And there's a mountain range. And it's like the mountain is where all the trolls were. And then one of the mountain gets up and goes on a rampage.
Yeah.
And so it's like a troll with its tail, and it like goes about destroying the city, and they have to put it to sleep again.
Right. So it's
but it's like absolutely, it's like a Godzilla movie, but it's like with a troll, which is just a mountain that gets up.
And I think there is stories of evil beings being turned to stone, which is where like, oh, that's a troll. So the idea is that if you see a creature that looks like it's made of hewn from stone in the mountain, that was a troll. But don't worry, because it's dead. Like it turned to stone. So
well, you also ring the church bells to get rid of trolls.
Yeah, because they're afraid of light. Because they thought that the church bells were lightning, and they're terrified of lightning because that is the sound of. Sorry, they thought it was thunder. Yeah. And they're terrified of thunder because that's the sound of Thor, and Thor hunts trolls. Yeah. So you could ring church bells to be like, oh no, it's thunder.
It's Thor coming to whiff us, even though he's dead.
Yeah, Thor is the main enemy of the
trolls and giants.
Giants, I guess. Yeah, which is weird because he's not like the. Like I think Thor would lose in a fight to Tyr, and also probably to Odin. I mean, definitely to Odin, but.
Yes, but it's very much. If you have a hammer, you solve hammer-shaped problems.
Yeah.
And giants and trolls are hammer-shaped problems.
And he has a very nice hammer.
Yes. Loki's also a hammer-shaped problem.
So God created the giants to protect the dwarves from the giant reptiles in the earth. But then the giants made the dwarves their slaves. So God created heroes so that the giants would fear God and instead continue to protect the dwarves. That doesn't actually explain that much.
Yeah.
They're so embodiments of destructive natural forces, essentially.
Yeah.
So actually, Norse giants, I guess the equivalent would actually be the Japanese kami, essentially.
Yeah.
Like their names are fire, snow, stone, soil, water.
And to tie this all back in, even though this episode is going to be split in two to the original topic, is that these mythologies are very muddled. We know so little about them. Like, we think we know the Norse mythologies, we don't. This book is just one book of many.
Yeah.
History is probably like that too.
Oh, it definitely is like that.
It's so muddled, and we don't know a lot about even a history of 40. So here's something insane. This is personal family history. I'm not going to actually give the details.
Yeah.
But I found something out about some of our family members from our dad, and he's telling me the story. I was like, oh, okay. I never knew that story. Then I asked our mom about it, and she said, no, that's not how that happened. This is how the story goes.
Yeah.
And so there's even that difference there.
Yeah. Like just a single... Well, you can do that even one better in a way. Like, you talk to someone...
Yeah.
And then you talk to someone else and you say, oh, this happened. Like, no, this happened. Like, no, I just saw them and this happened.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a totally different interpretation of the same event.
Yeah.
When you're both telling a story about what happened. Like, you're just, oh, we were playing Smash Bros. And, like, this thing happened. It's like, no, this happened. And you're like, what? Oh, we were both there. Mm-hmm. And we don't expect either... No, the other person's lying. It's just, you have this... What you looking for?
Cares where your bathroom is.
Oh, it's downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there's 3 rooms in this. Well, 4, I guess, if you include the crawl space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not sure if I trust you after the whole Amaterasu thing. Need to use the bathroom?
Probably.
Probably, yeah. I could
go for a bathroom.
I could go for half a bathroom, maybe. Just a kipper.
Just a tipple.
Just a tip.
Just a tinkle.
Just a...
Oh, there we go. Just a tinkle.
Like a half prairie dog, just... We call that the prairie dog guillotine. Just to keep you going. No. Just to keep you going for later.
No! Wait, no! No! We cannot end on that.